I'm Esther Frank for Civic Center TV, and we're at the West Bloomfield Township Library to hear about their Caregiver Corner with its very thoughtful collection of books and DVDs to help you manage home care for your loved one. And with me today is Amanda Bacalis, Adult Outreach Coordinator, who will walk us through. Good morning, Amanda.
Thank you, Esther. It's nice to be here today. And I want to welcome you and Civic Center Television to the library. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Caregiver Corner. As Adult Outreach Coordinator for the library, we saw a special need in the community to help those people who are facing issues providing home care or looking for other care for a loved one in their family. And so the Caregiver Corner was born of that thought. In another effort to broaden our outreach to the community, we have a special section here in the library called the Caregiver Corner, which has books and DVDs and some other print material that we're hoping our patrons will find useful as they make these decisions to provide home care and health care for their loved one.
What are some of the issues, Amanda, that people are wanting some help with?
Well, usually, Esther, when people come into the library, they are looking for information. And we can provide that type of information because they're looking usually either to find home care or they're looking for information on assisted living facilities, or they may even need nursing home care at some point. So also it's very important for me to mention that as a part of this outreach effort, this isn't just about home care for seniors. It's about home care for everyone in the community. We realize that there are families in the community that may have a handicapped child, teenager, young adult, that they also may need help in the home caring for their loved one.
And it could be in a spouse, husband, wife, where the husband now is the one who's looking after his wife, and maybe looking for ways to figure out home care. So when you say it's for everyone, it's really all members of the family depending on what the needs are.
Absolutely. It isn't just about women, and it isn't just a women's issue, it's a family issue. You know, we see men coming in here as well looking for information, how to best care for their sister, their wife, you know, another family member. So we try and focus on providing that type of information, you know, in a family aspect and not just, you know, geared toward one spouse or another.
I know the library has been right on top of providing resources for the community. In fact, I noticed there was a collection of medals and honored mention. The library has been noticed for what it does here. How did this come to be? How did this particular Caregiver Corner come to be?
The Caregiver Corner really came to be because as a national award-winning library, we provide great outreach efforts to every aspect of the community. And that was part of the reason that we won the national medal back in 2010 was because of our very, very concerted effort to provide all types of information to the community. And especially given the Caregiver Corner, I personally took a very bright interest in this project when we started it.
In what way?
Oh, actually, a number of years ago, my fiance Jim and I became caregivers for his stepmother after his father passed away. So I had a particular interest in this because I know I've been through it. Providing care, providing home care, looking at assisted living. So I've dealt with these issues on a personal level. So I really have a special interest in providing this type of information to all of our patrons.
Have you gotten any feedback from the people who come in who are, I'm sure, most appreciative of what they can find here in the resources for how to care for whomever that is? Have they come back to just let you know about how this is working for them?
Yes, we've had several patrons that have been so pleased, quite frankly, when they see that collection, because I don't believe that there's any other libraries in the area that really have a collection that is so devoted to strictly to caregiving. So we've gotten some very positive feedback from the collection, and we're looking to continue to expand it as the years go by.
Can you give me some idea, Amanda, about the various types of home care needs we're talking about? I know kind of the senior world and what that looks like, but can you give the viewers actually some idea of the kinds of care, aside from seniors or including seniors, that people are looking for answers?
Generally, folks are looking for someone initially that can come into the home and provide some supportive care. They may have a family member that is still able to care for themselves somewhat, but it becomes, as certain diseases and certain afflictions progress, it becomes very, very hard for one person to manage all aspects of that care. So you're looking for people who need perhaps help with hygiene issues and bathing, dressing, and also with cooking, cleaning, keeping the house warm and welcoming for that individual and their family. And so there's a lot of aspects.
What about those families where there may be children, in fact, who are the ones who are in need of care?
Well, we recognize that too, and a lot of the services that are available now have expanded greatly in recent years. So there's a lot of caregiving that can go on, especially since we now have that sandwich generation, where there's still parents who still have children at home, but then on the other hand, they're also dealing with caring for their aging parents. So, and even in some very specific situations, there could be certain families in the community that have a handicapped child and they need home care, and then they're dealing with an aging parent.
That's quite a heavy load to carry, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, and we certainly understand that, and the frustration and that feeling of being overwhelmed when there just seems like there is so much information out there. So another thing that here at the library, as Adult Outreach Coordinator, I'd like to make sure the viewers are aware of, I can provide a one-on-one appointment, if you wish, to help, and we will sit down in a private study room and help sort out that information, especially if you're just beginning this issue, if you have a parent where you're just starting to see some signs that maybe in the future you're going to need some help.
Oh, that sounds enormously helpful. I hope that people will pick up on that they can come in and sit down with you before they even decide what it is they need. They may not even know what kinds of services they're going to need. So that's a wonderful outreach for you, Amanda, to get connected with the people, for them to come in and connect with you and find what they're looking for.
Well, that's another reason why that sign over our desk says information. I mean, we're here to provide information. That's what we do best. And that's what we have been trained to do as librarians and professionals. So we're always here to help. And once again, I would be more than happy to help if you have any specific questions regarding care. Also, because it is a personal thing, and we want to make sure that we're providing information that is reliable and that you can count on, and it will help you get started. Because the most thing that I've seen in these dealing with these types of issues is that the uncertainty and the fear that is, and the anxiety that is created when you're faced with all of this overwhelming information. So what I'd like to offer is to help you sort that out and perhaps get a little bit more of a clearer path, so you have a little bit more direction, because that tends to reduce anxiety.
So one of the things that I've heard about is when people may have a hospital visit, and there is so much anxiety about that and so much uncertainty when people just can't begin to understand what's going on. They may not be able to even hear well in terms of information they need. Is there any way that they might get some support at that point?
Well, even when you're struck with a sudden illness like that, and you receive that dreaded phone call that your loved one has, become hospitalized, one of the things that I'd suggest you do is absolutely, when you're at the hospital, reach out, find what's called a patient advocate, and these are folks that work within the hospital, but they work on the patient's behalf. And so if you have difficulty, some difficulty hearing, some difficulty understanding what's being said, you know, perhaps by the physicians and the nurses, you can ask that you see a patient advocate that will help you sort through some of these things and be kind of there to hold your hand as you deal with some difficult decisions.
Well, Amanda, I think we've covered a lot of territory here, and I'm hoping that people were taking notes and kind of plugging in with what things are available here at the Township Library. Is there anything else that you think we can talk about, let people know about that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, actually, I think we have covered a lot, and quite frankly, we could talk for quite a bit longer on this subject because it is such broad and encompassing. But basically, what I want the viewers to know is that we're here for you. If you need that information, please come and see us. We're happy to help.
Amanda, thank you so much for providing a wealth of information that I feel was important for people to hear. And I'm sure the phone's going to be ringing for more if people are interested. And if you are, please call the library at 248-682-2120. This is Esther Frank for Civic Center TV.